Welcome everybody once again to a live PSGL broadcast of the F1 division. Tonight we have round 11 from the United States Grand Prix from the Circuit of Americas. And they say everything is bigger in Texas, and we have a big title fight for you this evening. The top three separated by a mere point after the first 10 rounds of the championship, and we go into the penultimate race of the season with everything to play for in the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship as well, which is a three-way battle between Mercedes, Toro Rosso and the Haas team. So good evening to everybody who's already joined the stream. In terms of Jamie, Gamer the Best and QPR Beasts, let us know who your money is on to seal the championship in the final two rounds as we load up the track for the usual 12-minute qualifying. It's still there, Tranquility, but I've started my own sort of proper gaming channel. But with many rumours of changes to the F1 grid next season, it's going to be up to the current grid to show their stuff before the end of the season, starting the US and Abu Dhabi next week. So this could well be the critical qualifying session of the season. Gamer the Best, the only three-time race winner in this division this season, really reignited his title bid last week with that excellent pole position and the victory, although Big C put him under enormous pressure for quite a lot of the race. But the defining moment of that race, many people would say, would be the turn 6 incident where QPR Beast got it all wrong at the second Degner curve and slammed into the side of Sandban Kid's car, ruining his race and seeing his 15-point gap to Gamer at the top of the championship wiped out. So it looks like a dry quali and a dry race according to Game Freaker as the cars prepare to go out. I can see my mic icon for some reason. One sec. Right, that's better. Yeah, for some reason the mic chat was prioritized to the game chat. So lots of cars going out, obviously dry race, so everyone's going to be mostly going the ultra soft tyres. One stop strategy and the two stop strategy. There's not too much between them here, although I'm sure the leaders will be looking to one stop as the safest strategy, ultra soft to the softs. Some of the drivers out there might be able to push ultra softs to super softs, but that remains to be seen. Now it looks like Oogie's not here again this evening, so that's going to hurt Haas's chances of getting the Constructors' Championship. So just a reminder, at the top of the Drivers' Championship, Gamer the Best is on 80 points, Jamie995 is on 80 points, and QBR Beast is on 79 points. Big C in 4th on 56 points, can mathematically still win the championship, but you would have to win the final two rounds, including this one, and hope for utter calamity for the three drivers above him. And in terms of the Constructors' Championship, 135 points for Toro Rosso, 124 for Mercedes, so a mere 11-point gap, and Haas further back on 118, although their hopes of getting the Constructors' Championship with only one car on track today, again like last week, look less likely, especially given that Jamie has been unable to get near the podium in recent races, but hopefully we'll find some pace today. Had an excellent podium in Singapore, but has only been on the podium 3 times all season, including his victory at the Chinese Grand Prix, whereas cars around him, Gamer and Louis, have made more regular visits. So just seeing who's about to start a flying lap. Looks like Greeny is first. Where is Game of the Best? Game of the Best is on his out lap. Lots of people thinking that Shortbread's going to get disqualified. Not sure if anyone's going to beat Maxi Luca's 34 seconds of penalties last week, which I found quite amusing, because it's not really a penalty heavy track, to be honest, at least when I drive it. Right, I'm having some reason it's taking a while for some of these to switch between the cars. Having a bit of trouble here. Right, that's finally come on. I did that 10 seconds ago. Right then, so Louis. I'm not sure yet. So Clippy sets the early pace with 1:33.518. Anyone else nearing the end of the lap? Jamie sets a 1:33.959, so only 4 tenths off. Quicker than Nick Pine, who does a 1:34.061. The two Ferraris. Here's Greeny nearing the end of his lap. Let's see what he can do. So if Jamie was on the front row, he'd be very pleased with that. So Greeny crosses the line on his Ferrari, and he sets provisional 1:33.196. What can his teammate Jacques Lacey do, who's going to be enjoying the final 2 races as the reigning PSGL F1 champion? Hasn't really ever looked like defending his title all season, but he'll be looking to. So at the moment it's a Ferrari 1-2 on the front row. Big C puts it up into third. Now where is Gamer? He's on a flying lap, going through this brilliant set of corners to end the lap. Runs a little bit wide, but he should be okay in terms of the invalidation. And Gamer goes third, so a very tight gap at the moment. As you can see, half a tenth between the top 3. As ever, very tight qualifying in this division. McLaren off track, although that's just to get out of the way. Now, did QPRB, was he able to regain his car? Oh, Maxi Luca, 1:33.163, or 1:64 on the actual screen. So the Williams driver on the pace in the first runs. So look at that, less than a tenth between the top 4. I tell you what, these second runs later on, they're going to be fast and furious. So at the moment, Louis not saying, I don't know if he's been able to retake his car. So I'm going to check the chat, see if there's any sort of anything going on in that respect. So Louis still in the pits. Now for that incident last week, incidentally, Louis will have 10 seconds added to his race time, so bear that in mind, guys. So that has really a double whammy in terms of his title bid. So we see quite a lot of the cars returning to the pits. See if there's anyone. Tusmus, no. Tusmus in 7th at the moment, Powdy in 8th. Some of them seem to run out of fuel. Game Freaker in 9th. So we have 4 cars who haven't set a lap time yet, although Shortbread's gone out for an out lap. Probably a decent time to go out right now. It's going to be very quiet. But you may not be able to take advantage of the track evolution at the end. But if this track, unlike some of the recent rounds, very easy to invalidate and pick up warnings here. Right, I'm going to leave this on the screen, guys, because I have just received a phone call and it's from work. So apologies, I will be right back. Oh, just in time. Sorry about that, guys. Someone had a bit of a meltdown on the night shifts, so I had to walk them through how to restart a server. So, qualifying is finished and GamingAlimonda has taken pole position from Shortbread by the narrowest of margins. Big C in third, Jamie in a very excellent fourth, and Louis starts at the back of the grid with a 10-second penalty to boot that will be added to the end of his time for his incident last week. So the odds are really stacked against Louis now, having looked before the start of the Japanese Grand Prix to be in a really good position to win the championship. GamingAlimonda proving to once again to be the qualifying maestro of this division. I think he's had more pole positions than anyone else this season. So Max Luke in fifth, Nick Pine in a very good sixth, and Shortbread in second place, really showing some end of season form, having not really been at the races, so to speak, most of the season, but he got a podium last week in Japan, and starting on the front row, he will certainly have a chance of getting a podium again here today. And I wonder if Shortbread, knowing how he likes to be very late on the brakes, will have a little go at Gamer down turn one. So GamingAlimonda 6 pole for 1:32.844. Shortbread, Big C, Jamie, Maxi Luca make up the top 5. Pine, Greeny, Salmon Kid, Jack Lacey and Powdy make up the rest of the top 10. And Joel, Cliffy, Tusmus, Game Freaker, Lordy Boy, Boy in the Face and QPR Beast at the back of the grid, the only one not to set a time. So there's lots of little mini stories. Oh, and I just saw Tusmus leave the session just before quali ended. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin, otherwise we may have a restart. I need to skip that as usual. So, dry race, looks more overcast than clear skies, judging by the clouds. So Circuit of America is obviously a 5.5 kilometre circuit, 28 laps of this particular race this evening. Big C is a former two-time winner of this particular race in PSGL. There's not been too many of them, to be fair. This will be the 8th time that the US Grand Prix has been held in PSGL history. This track has 20 corners, 2 DRS zones, one on the home straight and one on the long back straight from turn 11 to 12. So we have the 5 red lights and GamingAlimonda seeking to go a long way towards winning the F1 Championship, and we're off again. Gamer gets a good start once again like he did last week, but Shortbread got a good start too. Would he dive down the inside? No, he goes off the brakes. Oh, and there's a Ferrari spinning at the back, and that's the reigning champion Jack Lacey. Big C getting the better of Shortbread into the first corner as they go into this brilliant S section. And this is one of my favourite camera angles in the game as all the cars through. Whoa, I just saw a Renault fly off the... Was that a Renault? Yeah, it looked like a Renault going off the track. So Gamer leads, Big C second. This looks familiar. Same battle as last week. And Shortbread in third. So yes, the same top 3. That's not right. But Jamie in a watching brief in 4th. So he'll be relieved to have just got through the first corner. Louis has moved up to 12th from the back of the grid straight away. Hopefully he stayed out of trouble, so he can at least get into the fight for the points. So Gamer sort of got away from the pack before getting stuck behind a Sauber last week. As they head into the end of the straight turn 12 and then into the section 13. Oh, and behind Jamie, under pressure from Greeny, putting his hand up there saying, "What are you doing, mate?" And Sandbag will put, well, Greeny dives back down the inside. So fast and furious action already. Back end squirming as they come out of that corner, and then into this excellent sweeping corner, which is one of my favourite corners on the track, as we stay on board with Jamie to complete the first lap. And Shortbread getting a bit closer to Big C. Getting the best, taking the fastest lap, irrelevant as it's the end of the first lap. So let's have a look and see what gains have been made. Position change. Lordy Boy's made 6 places up from the start. Louis made 5, so brilliant starts for those two. Tusmus in the pits, as is Powdy, more than likely for a wing change. Yeah, wing change for the McLaren driver. So once again, we have to mention, of course, there was a patch release for this game today, and the safety car and multiplayer has been entirely fixed. And if you didn't sense the sarcasm in my voice, then more for you. Shortbread in third position then. Very solid start, although he did go very early on the brakes into turn 1, and that's what cost him the position to Big C, who went a bit braver on the outside. And it's going to be very interesting when DRS is enabled, whether Big C has the straight line speed to challenge Game of the Best for the lead of this race. But unlike Japan, Gamer won't get easily away from Big C, because Big C of course was stuck behind Greeny's Ferrari for a few laps, and that's what allowed Gamer to more easily pull out that 5-second gap. So I'm just going to have a quick look down the order. Gamer sliding out of turn 19, so less than a second then between Game of the Best sets the fastest lap proper. Early pace 1:37.056, DRS enabled then by race control, as of course on lap 3. Shortbread, and the back end of Big C oversteering a little bit, and that's dropped into more than a second behind Gamer. So the main battle on track could be between these two. But let's run down the order then. Gamer, Big C, Shortbread, Jamie in 4th, Greeny, Sambanke, Maxi Luca, and Empire drop some places at the start. Lolly Boy and Louis into the points, up to 10th position already. And a 3-second penalty for Game Freaker straight away through those S's, more than likely. Very easy to do that. So let's see there, DRS will be enabled for the first time on this lap. Let's see if Shortbread can get close to Big C. Is he within a second? Yes, he is. As is some of the cars behind him. The Greeny, if anything, is getting very close to the back of that Haas. So as it stands, Game of the Best cannot win the championship today. He doesn't have enough points. You would need Jamie to non-score, Gamer to win the race, and Louis to finish no higher than 10th to win the championship today. But at the moment, it is going to go to Abu Dhabi, which I think most people watching will definitely hope that is the case. Oh, and Gamer running wide there, he might have got a track extension. Warnings could be a critical role in the finishing order, given how close the pace is. And Maxi Lu, never mind. The timing screen sort of fooled me. It looked like someone was dropping a load of positions, but I think it was just the one lap going through there. I'm not sure why it does that really. So fairly static top 10 at the moment, very close gaps, but seems like everyone may have stolen each other's setup, because the straight line speed looks very similar. So looking into the midfield a bit, Cliffy not showing too much race pace so far, unless he's got some probably. Jumps the curbs there, and that's going to compromise him. Will Joel go for a move there? Oh, and Cliffy slams the door firmly in his face, saying, "You're not coming through there, sunshine." And Jack Lacey dropped back to 13th. We did see an incident in turn 1 where Powdy got spun by someone in McLaren. That's what forced him to have a wing change. We'll go back to that in a moment. Let's just see if anyone's got any closer. So Jack Lacey looking for a move on Joel for 12th position. He's got ultra soft tyres. Oh, he goes very late on the brakes, but he's going to run wide, and yeah, too much. Too late on the brakes, and Joel regains the place. But let's go back to Jamie in 4th position, who as it stands is the only person who can deny Gamer winning the championship on points today. Big C has got the gap back down to less than a second. So he will be in DRS range as we start lap 5 already of this race. No indication really of what the strategies may be. Louis started on the soft tyres, so he'll be going for a long sit for ultra softs at the end. Game Freaker, boy of no face, the same. For some reason I forgot to call him Josh all of a sudden, so I'll correct myself on that one. So less than a second between the top two, same gaps between, so there's, you know, usually you'd have some gaps forming, but the pace of the very similar. Pine sort of being left behind by the top 6, and Louis moved up to 9th position, Maxi Luca struggling in race trim once again. He's been a fast qualifier all season, except for a couple of disasters, but in the race seems to have an imbalance with his race setup. So if Louis finishes in 9th place, then Gamer won't win the championship regardless of what happens to Jamie. But don't forget, QPR does have a 10-second time penalty that will be added on to the end of his race time. It's a second between the top two at the moment, but they're unable to get any closer, sort of running in the dirty air. So these are the gaps. So in terms of those who are on the same, and Big C running very wide there. There's only less than 16 seconds between the top 15 drivers. Cliffy has just overtaken Maxi Luca to go into the points, and Maxi Luca's dropping like a stone right now. So what on earth has happened here? Maxi Luca pits. So I'm just going to see what's happened to Max. He's made an early pit stop. Those used ultra softs obviously not working. He's gone onto the softs for a long stint. Greeny gets a 3-second time penalty. So realistically, with that 10-second penalty, Louis got to have a penalty-free race and hope everyone else gets a lot of penalties so he can gain positions that way. And now the gaps, this is the closest it's been since the start of the race. Big C in DRS range, less than half a second. What's his straight line speed like? It's getting closer. Maxi Luca gets a time penalty immediately after leaving the pits. Yellow's in Sec 2, and Maxi Luca has binned it at the S's. Race over for the Williams driver. First retirement of the race. As we go back to the leaders front, look how close Big C is now. And Gamer struggling a little bit on these used ultra softs, allowing Big C to close the gap. Is this a bit of pressure that's building on Gamer the Best? Double F2 champion with a chance of winning the F1 division, adding to those accolades from the lower divisions. As we get a nice helicopter view, straight line speed very similar, although Big C getting closer. And having been very close, it looks like the top three are beginning to leave the likes of Jamie behind. So the top three from Japan, the class for the field at the moment. As we see Greeny really close to the back of Jamie, so I might switch back to that in a few moments. But this is quality driving from the top three. I'm sure Big C would love to stick one down the inside of Gamer and take the lead of this race. And don't forget, mathematically he can still win the championship, barring a minor miracle, it has to be said. But if he wins both this race and Abu Dhabi, and disasters happen to the competitors above him in the table, he can still win the championship. Greeny very close to the back of that Haas now, and the top, and it seems like Jamie Greeny having a slightly quicker lap. They're starting to close back onto the top three again. Seems like to me it's a bit of a train forming from Gamer. This is probably the first time he's led a race and he hasn't had that race pace where he dominated all the three victories he's had this season at Spain, Hungary and Japan. Lock of the tyres from Big C, and Big C pits looking for the undercut perhaps. And I'm sure Gamer will respond immediately. And Shortbread's in as well. No. Shortbread seems to drop back quite a bit. So Big C, Greeny, both pits. What does Greeny go on to? Super softs or softs? Yes, softs for Big C, and Greeny gets softs as well. Sort of glitched a little bit. So where does Big C emerge? Is he in traffic? No, he's not. So can he get a bit of an undercut on? And Greeny has ended up unfortunately behind a slow Renault, which is on old soft tyres, so that won't have pleased him. So let's go back to the front. Game of the best. will probably need to respond to Big C's pit stop immediately. So yeah, soft tyres for Big C and Game Freaker. And they're the only two lead cars who have pitted at this point. So Mercedes 1 and 4 right now, although Sandman Kid not liking the dirty F that has. Gamer again really struggling with those used ultra softs. He'll be hoping the next set of tyres he puts somewhat better, because Shortbread has closed up to less than a second. But will he pit? No, he's going to continue on, so he's going to basically carry on and have fresher rubber at the end of the race, which is not the most unwise strategy. It's quite early for those used ultra softs, but should be doable. But the wear on those tyres will not be great. Cliffy pits, as does Nick Pine. So Big C moves round, and well, Josh was very he doesn't want to race Big C, who's on a completely different strategy, but just lets him pass essentially. I don't think Game would be very pleased if he saw that. And oh, Shortbread gets a 3-second time penalty. He's the first of the what was the top 3 earlier to get one. So Jamie's still running in 3rd position, so he's looking very solid at the moment. And we have to mention Louis. He hasn't pitted obviously, but he's up to 5th from the back of the grids. So he's somewhat playing himself, possibly back into contention later on. It's all going to depend what he goes on later. I think he'll have to take those softs a long way and go on the ultra softs to give himself any chance for getting on the podium. Joel gets a 3-second time penalty. And yes, as Simo said in the chat, certainly that 10-second penalty, that mistake and that 10-second penalty, that will probably be the one thing he rues the most from what has been a very good season for him. Now Shortbread is now even closer. Less than 8 attempts, although he's lost a bit of time through the final sector. So what's Gamer going to do? Is he going to carry on? No, yes he is. Shortbread does as well. As does Jamie, so they're going for the overcut strategy to get better tyre wear. Sam McKidd pits from 4th position, so Louis will move up to 4th. Lordy Boy in 6th. Big C is in 8th. So let's have a look at the gap between Big C and the leader. 16 seconds. So I believe he's certainly cut into a lot of Gamer the best leads. So at the moment, Big C could have quite an advantage over Gamer when Gamer pits. It's a relatively short pit lane here though. Big C will certainly undercut. Based on that, I think it's about 20 seconds the time for the pit here. The Gamer the best going long, but he's certainly going slower than Big C, judging by the looks of those times. In DRF range is Shortbread. Can he get any closer? No, again, very similar straight line speed. He goes out of the dirt for a second. And double lockup from Gamer the best, forcing Shortbread to take evasive action. They've got a 3.2 second gap from the leader to 3rd place now. Gamer the best, is he staying out a bit too long? But around lap 10-11 ultra softs, that's around the lap you want to come in for the softs. But Gamer's got to be realising he's going pretty slow and he's got to respond soon, otherwise the Toro Rosso is going to be well clear of him. And they pit. Oh, and it's a bit of a slide from Shortbread. So where is Big C? We will switch to him shortly. Big C round the final corner already. So Shortbread pits. Gamer the best coming out. Big C's already past him. And who is that behind him? Wow, Greeny has jumped Gamer the best as well. So Greeny taking advantage of the undercut, just like Big C, but that could be a real buffer for Gamer to get back to the lead. So a bit of a twist in this title race. It's not going to be as simple, because Greeny will be looking for the one stop, as is Big C on that strategy. But but that was an insane undercut from those two. Shortbread ended up behind Sandbank Kid. He's going to try and get past the Force India of Josh as quickly as he can. Josh going defensive from the Mercedes Sandbank Kid, who obviously had his restaurant. And look at that, Shortbread round the outside of Shortbread. Little bit of buffer where, oh, both Force Indians go off in stereo. Sandbank Kid goes round the outside, so Shortbread was trying to pass both of them in one go. Oh, Jamie gets a 3-second time penalty. He's leading this race at the moment, but that could be costly later on for him. So Sandbank Kid moves up to 7th, so Mercedes 6th and 7th on track. And Jamie pits, although he's going to be dropping well back down the order, having stayed out quite a few laps. Where he'll end up, I'm not sure. So Louis leads this race. Hasn't stopped yet, as has Lordy Boy. He started on the Super Softs, so it's done pretty well. So Big C is effectively your race leader right now. He's doing what he needs to do to keep his title bit alive, as unrealistic as that is, and he's rapidly closing on Lordy Boy ahead. He's on very old super soft tyres now. And Josh has dropped significantly down the order, so I don't know if they had some kind of together with his teammate. Jack Lazy getting another 3-second penalty. So Game of the Best may have some problems getting past Greeny. So he's got some overtaking to do if he wants to win this race, no question about it. So now Big C will want to get past his Williams as quickly as he can. But I'm sure Lordy Boy will not make it easy for him. A little lock of the left tyre by Big C. But if he can get these tyres to the end and keep them in decent condition, he's pulled off a masterstroke in terms of the undercut. Oh, look at that. Lordy Boy losing control of the car, forcing him wide and making it nice and easy for Big C. Just didn't have the tyres left to take it flat. See the other Toro Rosso ahead. So Big C, 5.5 seconds off his teammate. This is because of that 10-second penalty, Big C can't really be a buffer for his teammate, because that won't really work out. So Big C's just got to race hard and see where he ends up. The Game of the Best trying to... Another penalty for Greeny. Very gingerly going through that sector is Game of the Best. Game of the Best doesn't quite have the race pace that we've seen in previous races for him. He's not really catching up to Greeny that quickly, although he might do if Greeny gets stuck behind this Williams for too long. Jamie, incidentally, is in 8th position after his pit stop. So Game Freaker, Josh and Lordy Boy ahead of this Ferrari, and the race leader Louis are the only ones who haven't stopped so far. One retirement, Maxi Luger, and I believe Tusmus as well. Josh has fallen all the way down to 14th. Another penalty for Shortbread. Shortbread now on the back of Sandbank Kid. Less than 5-second gap between the top two. And Greeny now suffering a little bit, stuck behind this Williams, and that's allowing Game of the Best to catch up to him. Lordy Boy takes this section better than he did the previous lap, but Greeny much fresher tyres, is going to close in. Lordy Boy does not pit. Oh, and Greeny didn't really need to get that close to the back of the Williams, risked breaking his wing there. Be the first time he's done that. And now Greeny gets the inside line, better traction out of the final corner, down into turn 1, and that's up to 3rd. Onto the podium goes the Ferrari driver. Lordy Boy able to come back at him? No, he won't be able to. So Gamer now will be the next person to target this Williams 4 position. Around the outside goes Gamer, much superior grip. Lordy Boy had no answer to it. Oh, and Lordy Boy though goes deep, and that allows Lordy Boy back in front of him for 4th place, and that could cost him a second of time to to the people he's trying to get past, but he's not going to wait for DRS. He's going to say, enough of this, down the inside, locks the tyre again, and he moves. No, well, he nearly lost the back end coming out of the corner, but I think he should have it done now. He'll have DRS. And his teammate. So obviously when Lordy Boy and Louis pits, the order will change significantly. So Greeny now in second position. Moving away from Lordy Boy and trying to get a gap to Gamer, who will be trying to get past him as quick as possible so he can give chase to Big C, who has a significant advantage to Greeny now. A few seconds. It's a 2.8 second gap between Big C and Greeny. Add an extra second for Gamer. Shawbread having a little look. This looks like a tasty little battle developing here. So Lordy Boy, he's done 15 laps on those super softs, which is pretty good going. Even if that is, he's going to be pretty out of position. But oh, and Sandmaker goes for a dive down the inside. Gets his elbows out, forces Lordy Boy off the track, and now allows Shawbread to go around the outside of Lordy Boy to move up a position. I don't think Shawbread and Sandmaker, they're not finished yet in terms of their battle, and Game with the best is already close to within a second of Greedy, so that's another good battle we're about to see. Lordy Boy gets a 3-second penalty, which might undo all his good work. And now he's got Jamie coming up to him. Do you think Lordy Boy's clearly looking for the super soft, ultra soft strategy, but he may have pushed them a bit too hard. Doesn't seem to have any pace left in those tyres. And there's Nick Pine, keeping watching brief. Let's see what Jamie can do then. Going to keep an eye on the battle ahead between Shortbread and Sandmaker, although Shortbread's dropped back a bit of time. Oh, a bit of a dive, and Jamie squeak. Oh, they both go off the track. Bit of a messy move from Jamie, to be honest. And they both ended up off the track. So back to the battle for third position, final position from the podium. Game of the best at the moment, gaining 8 points. With so that would be a 4 point gain over Jamie, who's in 7th currently. Pine has passed Lordy Boy as well. So yeah, Shortbread has dropped back quite a bit from Sandmaker, which is interesting. So Louis keeps going, lap 16 of this PSGL F1 United States Grand Prix. Seen some interesting incidents, but certainly the pit strategies spiced it up. The Gamer hasn't had that out-and-out pace which helped him dominate those first 3 races, but he's now going to challenge Greeny. Oh, and Greeny squeezes him. Well, that was a heart-in-the-mouth moment for Greeny. If that had been F1 2016, those physics would have kicked in and he would have been in the wall. 100% superior physics model on this game prevents an absolute calamity from happening there. More straight line speed from Game of the Best right now. DRS defensive by Greeny on the outside. Late braking, locks the tyres. Greeny goes a bit deep, but he maintains the position just by cutting the apex, meaning that there's no chance for Game of the Best to go through on the outside. The Gamer just needs to bide his time, and if he can't win the race, perhaps he needs to just go for percentages, make sure he outscores his title rivals, because Louis realistically is not going to finish where he is now. He's got to pit at some point, because he's been out for so long. Even though he'll be on ultra softs, he'll have that 10-second penalty, which means it's probably not likely he will score big points today. 2.8 second gap between the top two Toro Rosso teammates. Lordy Boy gets a 5-second stop-go penalty, and he finally pits, and that's undone all his good work. So that's a shame for Lordy Boy. Did really well to get those super softs so far, although personally I'm not sure that's the optimum strategy. So Greeny very aggressively defending on the previous lap. Another penalty for Nick Pine. They're being clocked up now. Joel setting the fast lap of the race for Sauber, 1:36.241. Now let's see what Gamer can do this time. Through turn 11 then, onto this long straight towards turn 12, the second DRS zone. Greeny will have to go defensive just as he did the previous lap, no choice about that. Guarding the inside, forcing Gamer the best onto the outside again. Greeny does a good job again, cuts the apex nicely, doesn't go as deep as last lap, so that was a very good bit of defending from Greeny there. But Gamer, the Mercedes driver, hounding all the way, number 62. Greeny going deep again as they sweep up through 16, 17 and 18, this wonderful flat out corner. And now will Gamer look for a move down the inside into 19? No, thinks better of it. Gap now with 1.3 seconds between the top two. So we could have a change of leads before Louis pits. We will keep an eye on that. But Greeny once again defending very nicely from the Mercedes for the second lap in a row. Meanwhile behind, Shawbread has closed onto the back of Samakid, and to be fair, Samakid and Shawbread are gaining probably about half a second a lap to the two cars in front of them, so Gamer gets caught behind this Ferrari for much longer. And a multitude of penalties we just saw flash up from race control. Busy afternoon for those guys. Now I do find it ironic how strict the penalty system is here on this track when it certainly isn't in real life, considering the amount of track extensions you see. But hopefully that Max Verstappen incident this year will make them think actually people can't just go rallying all day and then we give a penalty for it later on. And Gamer once again trying around the outside of Greeny. He's going to have fresh tyres at the end. Oh, he gets better traction now as they go into 14. But that Ferrari is more a big red bus. Can't get past him. Now he's going to try another outside line. And look how close the car's behind now. This is similar to that situation last week for Gamer, about a different position when he was stuck behind that Sauber and he lost so much time. Just a quick look at the battle for the leads, and Louis pits from the lead. Big C takes the lead of the race, near 5-second gap now, lap 19 of this US Grand Prix, and Gamer, if he's going to win this race, needs to get past Greeny quickly. But he's now got his teammate right behind him. What's his teammate going to do? I mean, if his teammate were to make some sort of move and wipe out his teammate and potentially cost him the championship, there would be some words between those two Mercedes drivers, for sure. Greeny getting a better run through the S's, meaning Gamer can't challenge. He might have to think about a dive down the inside before the DRS straight. Something different to catch Greeny off guard, and I think that's exactly what he's thinking. That's why Greeny had to go defensive. Forces him to the outside again, and look at his teammate. No team orders here. He was having a look at a 3-second time penalty for Louis straight from the pit lane. Greeny going defensive instantly. So this battle for his second place now. And look at this, Gamer trying to lock on the outside, and Shawbread going way off the late on the brakes again. So Samakid, he wants to get past his teammate. He doesn't care about Gamer's championship, clearly. He wants to get on the podium. Gamer doesn't want to do this thing the easy way. He doesn't want to just take the points towards the championship, which would be the smart thing to do. He wants to finish as high up as he can. He wants to win this race if he can. Look how close. I mean, Gamer, if he dives and goes deep off the track, and oh, something's happened to Gamer. He downshift. What's happened to Gamer? Did something go wrong with his wheel or something like that? Just saw him downshifting really early before the corner, and that's cost him just to Sambam. Unless he lets Sambam pass, perhaps he's playing for percentage now, and a time penalty for Sambam. But he slowed down very early for that corner. Not really sure why, because Sambam has more penalties. But I'm guessing Sambam is going to be given the opportunity to get past Greeny, or maybe be a missile to get him out of the way. And I'd say that as a joke. I really hope Sam doesn't think about doing that. As efficient a method as that would be, that wouldn't be racing. So Jamie in 6th position. He knows any mistakes on these guys and he could. So Jamie not far behind his championship rival. So Louis ended up in 9th position, and he's well, at the moment he's got enough of a gap, including the, well, unless Lordy Boy's got more penalties, so Louis has enough of a gap, including the penalty, to oh, and that was Josh's Force India. But Greeny doing a tremendous defensive job. And Big C, if he could see it, would be absolutely loving it. So what's Sam going to do? Is he going to think about a late lunge to the inside? And he does! Daniel Ricciardo on the brakes. Oh, he goes deep. And that's never going to work. It was a brave move. Brave move. He just didn't have the brakes to do it. He probably needed a different tyre compound to get that done, but on the softs, that's an extremely difficult move to pull off. And now Shortbread has got past Sam Kid as well. Lap 21 of this race. So the Mercedes driver of Gamer is going to have to do it again. Will Greeny go defensive to the inside? No, he's left it open. But Gamer wisely knows he's not close enough to make a move down into turn 11. But it seems to me Greeny saw that dive bomb coming and gave him all the space he could. But very optimistic move from Sandman, but I think given where he was in the race, it was worth a go. It's got a Greeny seems to have got it really sorted in terms of defending the DRS zones, especially the main DRS zone. So to get past Greeny, clearly someone's going to have to make a sort of a surprise move like that to catch him off guard. Penalties could be so critical at the end of this race. I just want to not have any more penalties because it could make all the difference in the championship battle. Jamie really close to this group now. A single 3-second penalty for Game or Jamie could swing it back into their favour. But as it stands, the championship battle is 100% going to Abu Dhabi for the final round next week before Christmas. And I hope everyone gets all their Christmas shopping done by then. Don't want to do it at the last minute. Want to get it all done before that final round. Get nice and comfy. Gamer gets another 3-second penalty. Well, that... And I do believe Jamie only has 3 seconds at the moment. And Gamer, I believe that's 6 seconds of penalties. If I saw Simo say he picked one up earlier in the race. So he's getting a bit frustrated in that cockpit. Can't get past this Ferrari Greeny. It's like a red Vitaly Petrov from 2010, just can't get past the damn thing. Does Gamer really have to push this hard? Closes on DRS again. Oh, and Greeny moving a little bit. Oh, and he left the inside open. And they touch. Greeny will have the inside for the next turn. Look out for Shortbread, he's right there. As is James... No, Sam Mankhead, sorry. And look at this, they almost went 3 wide down this corner. Wouldn't switch quickly enough for me, because I just noticed Louis has rapid pace on those ultra softs. Down the inside of the final corner, and now Game is going to be alongside. And look at this, it's 3 wide on the main straight. I can't get a good camera view unfortunately, but it was 3 wide for a moment. Gamer, oh, and Shortbread dives down the inside and Greeny gets back in front of Gamer. Incredible stuff. I'm really sorry that the game wouldn't give me a good camera angle, but that was incredible stuff. The battle for second place is hotting up. So Greeny first, Shortbread has got ahead of that Ferrari, and now Sam McKidd ahead of his teammate. These are critical moments in the championship season. And look at these Mercedes, and Louis right there. He's right there. All 3 title rivals, 5th, 6th and 7th. Greeny's just gone off track and he's just dropped down to to 6th, and it's 3 wide ahead. I'm going to stick on board with Greeny so we can get a perfect view of it. Get rid of that spectator menu. 2 Mercedes and a Toro Rosso. Who's going to be latest on the brakes? Oh, and the Toro Rosso. Gamer goes back to 3rd, and Greeny has been hit off by Louis. He's been hit off by Louis. Gamer drops to 9th. I can't believe it. It's another major incident involving a Toro Rosso and a Mercedes, just like last week. Jamie's up to 5th. Oh, goodness me. Dramatic scenes again. Yet another twist in this incredible PSGL F1 season. Sam McKidd going for a move from Greeny on the outside, and they touch, and they're locked together for a moment. Well, this is dramatic stuff. Gamer ended up in 10th position. Did he damage his wing off the wall? I'm not going to move now. I will try and check, but there's so much. Jamie go. Oh, Greeny's gone straight off and gets a 10-second penalty. And surely you have to give some places back. And out of nowhere, Jack Lacey has appeared right behind his, has gone past his teammate. Greeny got it all wrong. Too much pressure for him. Jamie up to 4th. The championship, and Gamer pits for a new wing, I'm pretty sure, and he's out of the points. He's out of the points. So at the moment, unless he gets more penalties, Jamie's going to be gaining the lead back of the championship. But 10-second penalty for Greeny for that obvious cut of the corner. He just got the braking all wrong, but he may have been hot under the collar trying to maintain the position. So at the moment, Big C comfortably in the lead of the race as long as he keeps his tyre switch. Shortbread in 2nd. And, well, I'll need to have a look at that again, but it looks as though, well, it was 3 wide on that straight. And then it just went all kerfuffled. Gamer and Greeny and Louis all sort of getting together. So Jamie now, less than a second behind Sam McKidd. If he doesn't have as many penalties as Sam McKidd, he could still be on the podium. And Nick Pine has just sort of quietly kept out of all this nonsense ahead of him, and he's up to 6th. But it looks, yeah, Louis is in 7th position. Has he had wing damage? Looks like he's missing part of his right end plate. So he looks like he may have wing damage. Cliffy in 8th. We haven't really talked about Cliffy. The 2-time race winner. Oh, Jamie gets a 3-second penalty. Oh, that could cost him a podium. But someone may have to let me know, because I'm sure Sam McKidd's had a lot of corner cut penalties, so maybe not. But Jack Lacey, I don't remember seeing him in any penalties, so he may yet get on the podium. So I'm looking on my phone back at that incident, and yeah, exactly that, Remco, I was just about to say. Yeah, it looked like they went 3 wide into this corner that Louis is going through now, and they all sort of tagged together. I don't think it was as clear cut whose fault it was between Louis and Gamer as it was when Louis crashed out last week. So lap 25 of this dramatic PSGL F1 Grand Prix. Thank you very much for being with us on my GamingAlimonda channel. You know, I'm going to need a 3-week break after this season. There's been so many races like this all season. I think the only race I could truly say I was bored was probably Spain, but even that had a bit of decent midfield action. But the second half of the season, we've just had entertainment for right and wrong reasons. Not gonna lie. So the order then: Big C, Shortbread, Sam McKidd, Jamie, Jack Lacey in top 5. Then we've got Pine, Louis in 7th. Although he has a 10-second penalty, don't forget. So he'll be dropping further down the order. Game of the Best sets the fastest lap of the race, a blistering time. Greeny gets another 3-second penalty. So I have no idea where they're going to end up. All I know is that Big C more than likely will be winning this race, unless something happens to his tyres, although he's dropped quite a bit of time. Less than 3 seconds between Big C and Shortbread now. All of a sudden, he must have made a mistake somewhere. can Jamie get ahead of Salmon Kid to gain some extra points? Jack Lacey, top 6, just seeing if there's any close battles on track. Big C closing to the back of Joel on the Ultra Softs. Well, his pace must be incredible at the moment, the track as it is. So, assuming there's no penalties that change these current positions, which I think they will, especially in Louis' case. Another 3-second penalty for. It's now less than 3 seconds. What's going on with Big C? Is he easing off? I think he's obviously tyre managing just to ensure it gets to the end. Shortbread obviously has 3 lap fresher tyres than Big C, because Big C pitted on lap 8 and Shortbread lap 11. So I'm going to go back to Gamer, because he's now challenging for position. And Joel will try and defend, goes very deep. Nice switchback from Gamer, moves back up to 11th. Could still get into the points if anything else happens in front of him. Wouldn't put it past his race. At the moment he's getting no points, but 8 points for Jamie, unless he gains another. Oh, and he slides the car a bit. He's pushing hard, but that's all frustration. Big C with 2.2 second advantage. He's really eased off, but I'm sure he's got something in the locker if Shortbread gets close. But it's now a 2-second gap. Jamie now right behind Sandbank Kid, but Jack Lacey has dropped over 3 seconds behind Jamie, so if he's got as many penalties or even 3 seconds less, it's not enough. Although I haven't seen Jack Lacey's name come up on the penalties, so he could, and Jamie's definitely come up twice, so Jack Lacey could still get on the podium as long as he stays fairly close. Pine, we just saw got a 3-second penalty a few laps ago, and yeah, you can see, yeah, Louis' wing is definitely damaged. I just had a look from that angle. Damaged it obviously with that contact with and Greeny drops to 10th, passed by Lordy Boy. Now I'm going to go back to the front, because now the gap between the top 2 is now 1.5. It's not going to be in DRS range. Big C going very slowly, but he's doing enough to win this race. But the 7-time PSGL champion is about to get his first win of the season, unless his tyres give up right now. Another penalty for the Mercedes again out of frustration. But Big C, once he did that undercut strategy to perfection, he's really driven smoothly. No penalties whatsoever. Shortbread definitely does, because he pushes very hard and tends to get them. So Big C, very solid qualifying. He kept his head as others lost theirs, entering through the final few corners of this track, this magnificent circuit of the Americas. You're out to the final corner with Shortbread right behind him, but he's got it in time. Big C takes the US Grand Prix victory for Toro Rosso. Shortbread finishes second. Sambam, Jamie, now where are they going to finish? That could have a bearing on the championship. Jamie finishes 4th. Jack Lacey will finish 5th, more than likely. Pine finishes 6th. Louis jumps above Pine, but that may not matter because of his 10-second penalty. Lordy Boy. Pine finishes in 8th in the end. Cliffy gets to 7th. And Gamer gains a point right at the death, thanks to Greeny's 10-second penalty. So he does get a point in the end. So the gap for the top, between the top 2, will be 7 points. Jamie takes the lead of the championship, and Gamer will get an extra point, of course, thanks to Louis' 10-second penalty from Japan. So it's actually a 6-point gap. So the title will be going down to the wire in Abu Dhabi. But Big C keeping his head, using all that experience. Perfect strategy today. takes the race win for Toro Rosso. Shortbread with another superb podium. And Sandman Kid, 3rd place for Mercedes. But we saw some good driving here today. We saw some not so good driving. But Big C may have just pushed Toro Rosso towards the Constructors' Championship platform. So here it is. Big C, no penalties. Perfect drive from him. Shawbread in 2nd, Salmon Kid in 3rd. Jamie takes the lead championship at 4th. Jack Lacey, a good 5th, having had a bit of an off early on in the race. Louis finishes 6th, but he will drop down 10 seconds, 21. Looks like he will drop to 9th position. Or maybe 10th, I'm not sure. 21. He'll drop to 8th position. 9th position he will drop to. Just ahead of Lordy Boy. Gamer in 9th. Only one retirement in this race. Greeny finished 13th in the end. There's going to be some words, I think, in the chat after this one. But, yeah. It was a ferocious race for sure. Just waiting for them to actually... Is that actually going to... Okay, I'm going to have to invite them myself. So, give me a moment, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. There was action. There was certainly some action in that race. No question about that. So I'm just going to invite the guys in for the post-race chat, of course. So, going to be very interesting to hear what Big C's thoughts. So, for those watching, who was your driver of the day? Leave a message in the chat. I do thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel so you never miss an F1 race. And we are first joined then by the race winner of the US Grand Prix, Big C.
Yeah, hello. About time, I think. About time.
Your first win of the season with a perfect one-stop strategy and an excellent undercut, which leapt you ahead of Game of the Best when he pitted by some margin. And then you had a relatively quiet race, missing out on all the fun that was going on behind you. There must have been quite a lot of chatter going on about what was going on, but your point of view for your race.
Well, no, I think, well, obviously to take the race win, I don't think I had the race winning pace, but yeah, I think the strategy was spot on. I was always going to go for the undercut and just hope for the best. I knew there'd be some traffic, and obviously there's some, I think Greeny did some good defending, so I have my mic on mute, so I was focusing on trying to get no penalty, so yeah, I don't know what was going on. Obviously I saw Gamer setting fastest laps late on, so yeah, unfortunately something happened to him, so that's a bit of a shame, but yeah, though the pace was quite strong, yeah, the tyres towards the end, well, it was 80%, and I think Drawbread was probably quicker than me in Gamer today, but, you know, I had no penalties, and yeah, it was pretty comfortable. You know, I've seen in there what people go for the softs, you know, a little bit early on, so I thought, I've got nothing to lose, might as well try and put some pressure on, perhaps, yeah.
Well, yes.
It worked out, thankfully.
Yes, I mean, you came into this race still with the mathematical possibility of winning the championship, so you did what you had to do in very, very good style, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really thinking about the championship too much. I've won 7 titles, so it's not something that bothers me anymore. I want to win races and hopefully help Louis win the drivers, or I'd like to see Jamie win it because I think he deserves the title, and he's been the most consistent driver this season. So now I'm going to try and win Abu Dhabi, win the constructors, and the drivers will take care of itself. with the Gamer, Jamie, and Louis. I think they're all deserving champions. I think they've all been inconsistent at certain times, and they've got flaws, but they've got lots of good stuff about them. So yeah, they'll be worthy champions. So.
Yeah, high praise indeed from the 7-time champion. Shortbread on the podium, 2nd race in a row, finding some really good form as the season ends. But you were, unlike Big C, who had a relatively quiet race after the pit stops, you were involved in a lot of very, very fast and furious action for the podium. So just share us some of your moments in that race.
Well, where do I start? I witnessed a desperate man in a Ferrari. That's what I witnessed. I mean, it was ridiculous. That's F1. This is PSGL F1, and that was happening. I mean, it was. I don't really want to say anything. I'll get in trouble, but I think it's ridiculous. All of it. That shouldn't be happening. It was a cluster. Absolute cluster.
Well, as ever, any incidents should be reported to the stewards. If there's any drivers watching this later, just to keep it all under the lid. But you must be pleased, Shortbread, though. Another podium, and it's just underlying the quality that you clearly have. It just hasn't been there enough this season in terms of bad luck and just on the race pace until now.
Yeah, I'm just getting into the game. At the start of the season, I wasn't. I had to come on and race, and that was it. Now I've actually got a bit of momentum going. So yeah, maybe in F2 next season. Hopefully I'll mount a title charge.
And finally, we have Sam Kid, who finished on the podium, which was his third podium appearance of the season after podiums at Russia and Canada. Sambam, you must be very happy to have come through all that madness and get on the podium. I guess your viewpoint of it is similar to Shortbread in that there was a lot of strange things going on track.
Yeah, well, it's sort of expected since the start of the season, really. It seems like there's like 3 groups of people. You got Big C side, me, Gamer, Shortbread, and then the rest. It's just dirty tactics going on all the time. That's why I'm moving down to F2. Better racing, cleaner, more enjoyable.
Interesting viewpoint there from Samba Kid. So next week, of course, is the final round of the season at Abu Dhabi. Big C, starting with you. You obviously talked about the title contenders, but is Abu Dhabi a track you particularly enjoy? It has brought some really good racing across the leagues in the past.
Yeah, I think on 2016 it was a great track for racing with the long straights, but I think on this game, I think it's going to be a bit dull. But yeah, just talking about the title, I just hope it's going to be hopefully a fair final. Obviously, there's 3 contenders involved, so I just hope it's a clean, fair race. We don't want to. I mean, I thought last season there was some tactics involved, and I want it like all my title battles. People can say what they like, but there was never any, tactics or anything. I won them legitimately, and that's how I want, these 3 guys to win theirs. I don't want, tactics involved, and I just want a fair fight, and hopefully a good. It's meant to be the best league on the site, so hopefully, we can portray it that way next week. But, yeah.
Yes, I think that those are good points. Shortbreads, obviously, you're moving to F2 next season, so you'll want a very strong final race next week, similar to the previous 2, just to give you some momentum going into that championship next year.
Yeah, I'm going for the win. I had the pace for the win today. Just unfortunately, we saw what happened. But yeah, I'll be going for the win next week. Hopefully, it's a clean race.
And Sambam, is Abu Dhabi a track you enjoy?
Track I enjoy, but I don't think I'll be that quick to win the race on that one.
Yeah. Right, well, big congratulations to the podium today. All survived and got to the top 3. And next week is the season finale, so do not miss it. And thanks very much for watching, and we will see you then. Good night.